Santa Cruz is actually an arts lover city.
In today's episode, we're going on a city tour of Santa Cruz with our friend, one and only, Kay Gonzalez.
So this is the Mercado de Nuestra Señora de África. This is the main market in Santa Cruz and the largest one in Tenerife, actually. It has a ton of things from all over the world, but a lot of great Canarian things too. So the local crabs you cannot eat anymore. We used to eat them. You could get them. Used to be able to get them everywhere and eat them. These are coming from mainland Spain, and it used to be just local little stands that sell the fish. Now some of them are cooking the fish and the seafood and selling it. Right? There's a place. So this guy here smokes. You buy the fish and he smokes it for you. So this is chirimoya, right? Chirimoya, it has to be very soft when it's ripe, right? Then you cut it in half. It has big pits in it, right? Like seeds, big seeds. And you just scoop it out and spit the seeds out, or try to eat around it. The meat is very sweet and soft, and it's delicious, really. But most people don't know it either. It's local, yeah. Now we're going to a small wine store, Gusto Por El Vino, which is, for me, the best wine store in Santa Cruz, probably on the island. They import a lot of wines, but they also have a very nice selection of local wines. You have bottles there of, worth 2,000 to 3,000 euros. Actually, right in front of us is one that costs 1,055, 1,300.
Jesus Christ.
This goes all the way down there. It's a massive building. It's called Tenerife Espacio de las Artes, TEA. Everybody knows it as TEA, right? And it's a contemporary art museum. And it was built by Herzog de Moron, two of the most famous architects. Beautiful, interesting. And they have a permanent collection that is very good and interesting. A lot of Canarian art.
That was done on purpose. For sure.
What?
The
Yes, of
echo,
course.
yeah, the way, can you hear it? Woo!
So, Tate Gallery in London was designed by the same architects that did this, right? And they did the Tate Gallery. And while they were doing the Tate Gallery, they got the job to do this.
Where are we going now, Kay?
Now we're walking down La Calle de la Noria. This is the old colonial part of the town. The first part of the city, actually, that's left. It's filled with restaurants and the carnival associations. Carnival is a big thing in Santa Cruz, right? And hundreds of thousands of people coming to the island and locals, partying together. Carnival association, carnival association, carnival association, carnival association. This is probably not proper Guachinche, but Guachinche is a local winery. They can sell their own wine and a few dishes in their own house. Okay. Now in the cities you don't have that because there's no vineyards here. But this is the closest thing to a Guachinche, because they have typical Guachinche food, way more than you would have in a Guachinche. In a Guachinche you get 4 dishes, 5 dishes at most. Here you have a lot, but these are all local traditional things that you can eat here, and there are very few left in Santa Cruz. This is one of them. Now we're walking around Santa Cruz. I'm going to take you to the main Plaza España, and then up through smaller streets, so you get to see what the center of Santa Cruz really is. Now we're moving to the 17th, 18th century, and see, we're very close to the ocean still, but 2 or 3 streets are up, and we move a few centuries up, right? It's a beautiful square. But inside this building, on the other side, is the museum, and that's really worth it. It's a beautiful museum, really. Go, and it's an old school museum. They don't have museums like this anymore. Now we're in the 17th, 1800s, so even 1900s. We're starting to see some buildings from the 1900s. Of course, mixed in between, you always see the 20th century buildings because they've torn down some buildings and replaced them with new buildings. But you have to look at the older one. It's about the founder of one of the carnival associations that we saw when we walked around the street earlier, dressed as a clown, right? And this is because this plaza here, this little park, is one of the main areas for carnival celebrations. This is a little chocolaterie, chocolate place, and bonbons, and it started in Buena Vista, a little town close to our village, actually, in Icod, right? And So the father had a pastry, the son studied in Belgium or France, I don't know where exactly, and learned about chocolates, came back, started making chocolates, was very successful, expanded. You have these little shops now several places. And they make the chocolates are always with gofio and bananas and local things. But one of the things that I love them, the guy's an art collector, an art lover, and every year he asks a local artist, the most famous ones, to decorate their chocolate box for Christmas.
So cool. I
And
love that.
this year it's Luis Kerch, which is the artist who has a studio in the Museum of Bellas Artes, who's my friend. That's where they have all the local flavors. Anís estrellado, lavanda, azafrán, albaricoque, petaceta, and so on. Coco de limón, naranja, café, no sé cuánto. Yeah, palmetto is great actually. This is a beautiful botanical garden, right? I mean,
Right.
trees from, well, these are the typical trees in Tenerife. Laurel de Indias. The reason for this is the canopy is very, very dense. Look at the shade. It's completely dark, so in a hot place, all the plazas all over the island
here.
have these trees. Santa Cruz is actually an arts lover's city, and most people don't know about this. It's not only that we have the DEA and we have the Museum of Fine Arts. No, the really important part is that we have incredible sculptures in the middle of the street. In 1973, the last Franco mayor actually organized an international art show, inviting a lot of sculptors to create some sculptures, and bought a lot of them. The city bought a lot of them, and they're all over the city. We'll see now a little bit of some of them here in the park, but then we walk up Las Ramblas, you will see it's filled with incredible artwork, and they still keep buying. If you walk, we're going to walk the Ramblas up, but if you walk the Ramblas down, there's an incredible, beautiful piece hanging from the trees by a contemporary Catalan artist, right? So this hasn't stopped. It's a tradition, and you will see these sculptures everywhere. This being one. You see the white one over there?
When people come to Santa Cruz, top 3 things they have to visit.
Well, I would say definitely walking down the Ramblas to the park. That's one thing. Then Plaza de San Francisco and Plaza del Príncipe, where what we saw earlier, the carnival place. That's another thing. And then probably most people like walking around the shopping area a little bit and seeing the stores and the shops and enjoy that a bit. Otherwise, I would recommend going down to the old park at Anoria and walk around the church, go to the ocean and do that.
Okay.
That's 3.
So if you are in Santa Cruz or in Tenerife, don't skip Santa Cruz because it has a lot of places to offer. You just have to know where to go, where to look, and what to visit. And I'm sure this is just a short version of our trip, or our tour. This Kay was saying that there is so much more that we didn't see. We stopped for lunch, we stopped for some wine, and obviously we don't have that much time. But even if you come here for few hours during your trip, it's totally worth it. Totally worth seeing park, totally worth seeing the architecture. If you know where you're going, maybe get some souvenirs in a chocolate shop or just visit the local market and get some tasty food. Highly recommended. And Tenerife is not only about sandy beaches and a volcano, it's so much more.